People say that money is the root of all evil. People have told me for years that you don't need to make a lot of money to be happy.
You have a lot of possessions, a lot of money in the bank.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
Does money actually make you happy? A lot of people have been asking these questions for generations.
What is the relationship between money and happiness?
It's complex, right? And it's deceiving.
Does having more income, does having more financial stability increase the general happiness and satisfaction that you have throughout life?
I bought pleasure for so long. You can't buy happiness. You can buy pleasure, though. A lot of people say, like, oh, money isn't happiness. Well, money can buy a boat, and a boat will make me fucking happy, that kind of thing.
In today's episode, I'm going to answer this question based off the data, based off human psychology, and based off my own personal experiences. I've been homeless before, and I've been someone that's made millions of dollars a year. And I can tell you if money actually makes you happier. What is up, guys? Welcome to today's episode of ThoughtCast. If you haven't done so already, definitely hit that bell notification to stay on top of all of our videos. Do me a favor and subscribe to all of our podcasts and all of our social medias, and definitely throw up a like because it helps the algorithm and helps grow our channel so we can bring you more content just like this. Money definitely does have an impact on your level of happiness. First off, let's look at the data. The data shows that making about $75,000 in the United States brings you to a general level of happiness. After that level, the level of happiness that you get from increasing the financial stability that you have is kind of like a diminishing return.
Once you've bought everything you want, and there's literally nothing on earth else that you want to buy, you just realize none of it can make you happy.
But there's a lot of outliers in these studies. Number one, there could be someone that's a billionaire that has cancer, and he may not be happy, not because the money can't fix it, but because his situation is very difficult to deal with. And there may be someone that is a monk that does not really want a lot of money. Maybe he was a CEO in his past and changed his entire life. So there are confounding variables to where someone with a lot of money can be miserable and someone with no money at all can be very happy. One thing I will say is this: people need to have their general requirements satisfied. And now we're bleeding into human psychology, where food, water, shelter, and the ability to engage in normal intimacy is very important for human beings to generate a general sense of happiness. I think there's a lot of different factors when it comes to happiness, such as your emotional control, such as your spirituality, such as your health and physicality, but satisfying your basic human needs is very, very important. And if you're unable to satisfy your need for food, your need for shelter, your need to be able to stimulate yourself, life becomes very depressing. So that's why I think that data shows $75,000, because with $75,000 in the majority of places in the United States, you can do a lot of things. You can go out to a nice dinner here and there. You can go grab a drink at the bar. You can take a vacation occasionally, and you can typically find yourself being a very happy person, and you can find intimacy, finding happiness with another person. Now, I will say there are definitely areas in the United States and around the world where making $100,000, maybe even $150,000 is not enough. These areas like Miami, New York City, Dubai require more money. If you guys haven't lived there in these larger cities, a one-bedroom apartment is typically $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000. And just by living there, you're constantly going to see a lot of millionaires and billionaires. So having even $150,000 in these cities can make you sad because you're constantly seeing people shove money in your face that are doing much better in their financial situation. The standard of living is much higher, and the things that people buy there are absolutely insane. So there are definitely situations where this data may not make sense, but generally speaking, I think that having a certain level of financial stability is very important for your own happiness. However, here's what I will say. Happiness is much more complicated than just having money. It's more about your emotional stability, your spirituality, your relationship with your family and friends, and I think one of the biggest things is your own physical health. Now, let me dive into that a little bit. The biggest thing I found out when it comes to depression and sadness is that people are not physically happy with themselves.
Sometimes I feel like giving up. I'm tired of feeling devastated and pissed off, like, why is this happening?
Now, this may seem very superficial, but there is no secret that good-looking people get treated a lot better. People trust good-looking people a lot more, and they're more likely to hire and to engage in relationships and even friendships with good-looking people.
Why are we so obsessed with beauty? It's important because there are lots of effects in the ways that others perceive us, and those effects then lead to certain people being more or less influential in different kinds of settings.
In addition to this, being good looking, being physically attractive, generally garners you more attention and more social proofing in the social hierarchy that we have as human beings. Human beings are social creatures, so we want to have validation, verification, and constant attention from other people in our hierarchy, and being good looking allows this. I'll also say this. There's definitely extreme examples that if you're a very good-looking girl and you're young, you can basically carve through the world and get access to a lot of high-end stuff.
Extremely attractive people pretty much get whatever they want, and everybody else is just living under their shadow.
I know girls that don't even work, that make no money at all, that basically live their life on the dime of somebody else because they're attractive and because they're very sexual. So there are examples where just being physically attractive can give you access to a lot of experiences and a lot of success and happiness in life. Now, with that being said, yes, happiness is a combination of a multitude of factors, but does having more money still increase the general level of happiness that you have? In my experience, I would say yes. I've been homeless before and I've made millions of dollars a year. And one thing I will tell you is that I think money, personally for me, does make me a happier person. And here's my secret. You just have to give it away to people that you love. Many people don't understand that money is a tool, money is a resource, and money amplifies who you are. If you like cars, you'll have more cars with more money. If you like drugs, you'll probably do more if you have more money. And if you like traveling, you'll probably travel more when you have more money. So all money does is amplify and extend who you are as a person. If you're a good person, money will make you great. If you're a bad person, money can make you very evil. But I think that the biggest satisfaction that we can get as human beings is giving to one another. I get a lot of happiness by giving to people, by donating to charities and working with nonprofits. And I work with many every single year. And one of the biggest things I've noticed when I work with nonprofits and charities is that volunteers are great. Marketing for them is great, but they really rely on their big donors that donate a lot of money every single year. It's not free to give vaccinations, to give food, to give shelter, to create education systems, and to create sustainable agricultural systems in third world countries. That stuff costs a lot of money. Installing water wells, giving out aid, it's not cheap. And obviously we want to help as many people as we can. And I think that the biggest thing that's going to fulfill you as a human being is being able to put a smile on someone's face that really needs that help. So I do think that having more money can make you happy because you're able to make a bigger impact. I always think to myself, what if Mother Teresa had more money? What if she had billions of dollars? What kind of impact would she have made on the world? And so one thing I've done is I've dedicated my life to creating as much financial stability as I possibly can to be able to one day make a dent, make an impact, to change as many lives as possible. Now, you can definitely be miserable having a lot of money, even if you're a billionaire. But there's a saying out there, it's better to cry in a Mercedes than a Honda. It would be a lot worse if you are miserable and you have less money than having a lot of money. And I think that if you apply money in the right way, if you use your resources in the proper way, you can solve a lot of life's problems. Yes, you may not be able to cure cancer, but you can get that person the best medical treatment. Yes, you may not be able to really solve a relationship problems, but you can go to couples counseling and you can actually hire coaches, just like myself, to get you where you need to be to fix those problems and the relationship as a whole. And yes, all the money in the world cannot make you live forever, but it can definitely allow you to get access to personal trainers, certain supplements and programs, and all the health secrets in the world. Money can help you in a lot of ways when it comes to solving problems. I think that the majority of problems in people's lives are solved by just having more money. There are problems, once again, that are out there that money can't necessarily directly solve, but it can put you in a position to better the situation, to treat the situation, or to learn how to solve it itself. So for me, I think that the more money you have definitely makes you happier. I would say that after a certain level, it definitely does have a diminishing return. Like the lifestyle of someone that's making 10 million versus a billionaire is not that different. They can still have the Lambos, they can still get a nice house, and a lot of things can be accessed with financing. The more money you go up, the more you have access to the world. The cars, mansions, watches, bottle service, and penthouses don't make you happy. It's your impact and influence on the world. It's your ability to create legacy. That's what actually makes you happy. And if you're someone that has that drive and someone that really has that desire to change the world, I think that money is the number one thing that you need to focus on as long as you're creating it in a legal and ethical way. One big disclaimer I'll say in this entire video: making money in an illegal way will never make you happy. It'll always make you depressed, because the more money that you get, the more you are on the radar of the legal system. Whenever you're making money in an illegal or unlawful way, you're constantly looking over your shoulder, there's constant anxiety, and you're never actually safe. And the more you grow, the more of a danger you are to the community, and the more you're hurting people. So So when I'm saying make more money in this video, I want you to create more systems, more businesses, more ethical ways to create more income. I know I sound superficial for saying it, but I urge you all to ask yourself, could I use $1 million right now? The majority of you would say yes. And I know a lot of you are good people out there that will help your family by retiring your parents, that will help your friends by being their first customer at their new business and paying full price for everything there, that will help your community by giving to those around you. I know that a lot of you are good people. And I know that when you have a lot of money that you don't necessarily need to live your own life, you will give it away. You will be more generous. And what I found in life is that the richest people I know are the most generous, are the most kind, and they don't get there by accident. They get there by helping people, by building partnerships, and by genuinely improving the world and solving problems. So I do believe that money can increase your state of happiness. And I'd love to hear your opinions. If you want to comment down below, and definitely DM me your opinions on this, because I love hearing feedback from everybody out there. Let me know what video I should do next. And if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, the link is down below. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of your precious time in your day and spending it with me. Until next time, guys, Sumi out.